been 32 long years. Okay, we can start.
Okay, should we start? Okay. Uh, Again, welcome on behalf of the Nakilohana Owahini chapter of ABWA. We're really pleased to present this segment. We've been doing workshops about one a month, huh, Denise? About there.
Mhm.
And first one was a great cooking show. And the second one I missed that Tammy was presenting. And Tammy, what was your topic you were on again? I missed.
Mine was sending gratitude with cards.
And we love your send out cards. It just makes a whole world of difference to receive a card in the mail. And not only the sentiment that you send in the card, but I don't get cards anymore. So it's special. You know, everything is like email, a video mail card or whatever. So just very, very nice. So thank you on that. So again, welcome. Today's topic is how to be an awesome manager. Okay. Someone said, share that with you. And we used to meet in my office, and whether they, you know, my coworkers wanted to get a raise or whatever, they said, Yvonne is awesome. So I said, Yvonne, share, why are they saying things like that? And I have a few ideas on that, and I was researching the topic in general to share with everyone. But before we get started, we wanted to get some definitions around this. So we have some thought, but also some background of who is in the audience in this group. So I'm going to share my screen. And so I've been practicing. So let's see if this works. Okay. Tammy's laughing. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let me see how I can see more people. Because right now, my screen, I only see 3 people on it. Oh, well, sorry if I don't get to see everyone's faces on here. So this is our topic today. And let me go with, okay, let's see if I'm changing screens correctly. Okay, is the next screen came on? Of who is Yvonne,
Yes,
our coach?
yes,
You see that?
yes.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Okay, so a little bit about me first. I don't say I'm an authority, but I've got years of experience being managing others, and it's not always an isolated role. So even though I could be a manager, I have managers too, right? So I've been in the residential mortgage loan business since 1982. So if you do the math, that's 38 years. And I didn't include the times I worked for a department store while I was going to high school or working at a drive-in, fast food drive-in. But from college on, I'm counting. So you kind of know how old I am. I've been around a while. And you can see the different management styles, how even management, how can I say, philosophy has evolved over the years. And then I've been, of those 38 years, 16 were in management with 3 different companies, but it's all within the same field in mortgage loan originations. And the last 5 years, I've been with American Savings Bank as a residential loan manager. And I've been in the workforce, 48 years total. So again, there's a lot of expertise. It helps when you're have a lot of experience in your line of business when you're a manager, it helps. And then even pulling from times when I was in other fields, even unrelated. So I wanted to go around to get an idea of if what you folks do, where you're employed. Are you a manager now? Okay, so let me go ahead. I hope I jotted down everyone's name here when you folks came in. But let me start with Patty. So Patty, where do you work? What do you do?
But first, I think Brittany's trying to get in. She's in the waiting room, so someone has to let her in.
I'm here.
Oh, you were there. Okay, I can't see you on my screen. So I'm with my own company, Real Estate Update. And so I am the janitor to the manager. And what else did you ask? Sorry.
No, then, so you've almost been like a self-manager. How many years have you been in your self-employed?
I started the company in 1992. But prior to
Ah,
that, yeah, I was with Cutco Cutlery, and I was a sales manager there also. So just
okay.
working with different teams, and it's interesting in the sales field where um, you can't really discriminate like I guess in other workplaces. So it's kind of good, but a lot of times the guys think that because you're a girl you can't do it. So I think that'd be interesting to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay. And I see Donna on my screen. Donna, can you share where you work
Hi,
and what you do?
I'm human resources manager at Hawaii Transfer Company. It's a warehousing and transportation company. So, as HR manager, you have to understand yourself, know what kind of leadership style you have, or, being more self-aware about how you manage yourself, but then also how you can use this skill in helping others too.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And then Donna, or not Donna, I'm sorry, Denise.
Hi, I'm Denise, and I work for Talent HR. So we do HR and payroll for small businesses, and I do the marketing and HR. And what I found was interesting that I learned from my boss. I have a really good boss. So he and I dump the garbage and we do all those kind of cool stuff. But he is one as a manager that is like not afraid to say, I'm sorry, or if he messes up, we all laugh. It's like he's showing that he is human. So he's a really good role model, as is Yvonne.
Thank you for sharing that. And next on my screen, I see Brittany. So you'll need to unmute Brittany if you can share where you work, what you do, and your role.
Hi, I'm Brittany Nagasal. I'm a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley. And it seems like everyone's sharing something about management. So I manage my clients, if anything. And I know I'm definitely interested to hear what Yvonne has to share because I'm not going to share where I previously worked in the past, but management or being led by a good manager, a good leader is very important. And I feel like I haven't had that experience, so I'm interested to see what Yvonne has to share with us.
Thank you. All right, and then I see her name, but I don't see her face. I see Tessie Yamamura. Thank you for joining us, Tessie. And can you share a bit about where you work and your role? Brittany, are you on audio? I don't know if you're on mute. I can't tell.
Are you talking to Tessie or Brittany?
Oh,
Tessie,
Tessie.
she might have stepped away, so why don't you go to Min?
Okay. Min, can you share Min? Hi.
Hi everyone. My name is Min. I am the HR coordinator and safety manager for Moku Kitchen. I manage about 112 employees. My main operation is to ensure that I hire people in through my orientation system, manage them throughout their time at Moku Kitchen. So I start performance evaluations for the first 60 days, and then a year manage our employee appreciation programs, manage their hours, ensure that everyone is insured, process 401ks twice a year, and help organize my management team in terms to keeping everyone on track. So basically, HR generalists, and also ensure that we are up to par with our safety inspections.
Wow, wonderful. I feel exhausted, 112 employees. Thank you for sharing that. And all the way from Michigan, is that correct, Gail?
That's correct.
Thank you for joining us, Gail Fromm. So tell us about yourself.
Hi, I am Gail Fromm, and I happen to be a member of the Cass River Charter chapter since 1992. So been around for almost 30 years as a member. As far as management and my business and stuff goes, for the last year and a half, I've been executive director at the Disability Services Resource Center, where we help folks with disabilities, provide them durable medical equipment, and build ramps if they need them on their homes, and a variety of other things, accessible sports and so forth. Additionally, I currently have just 2 employees. It's a very small nonprofit organization. But prior to that, I was in a position with Michigan Soybean Promotion Committee for 28 years. And of that, the last 16 were as executive director. And we had anywhere from 2 staff to a high of 7 that we managed for the entire state of Michigan for soybean farmers.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And again, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.
Okay, and then we have Kelsey. Hey, Kelsey, I miss your dorm room. I don't see that in the background. That's a pretty background. You're on mute. Oh, great. Hi, Kelsey.
Okay, hi, my name is Kelsey. I don't have any managerial positions at the moment. I currently work at the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra in the box office and Scheidler College of Business in the internship and career office. Yeah, I don't hold a managerial position in those. If we're talking about we have any managerial experience, I guess I kind of do in that, like I a section leader in the UH marching band. Of course, I'm kind of having to manage a bunch of tubas. It can kind of be interesting sometimes, but I'm interested in hearing what Yvonne has to say about like being a good manager, and hopefully I could apply that in whatever future jobs I have.
Okay, well, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and Tammy, I don't think I talked, no, I didn't ask Tammy yet. Tammy, share, please.
Hi, I'm Tammy Namihira. I currently am working for the City and County of Honolulu, and I am a real property management specialist. So basically, we try to get rid of all the city property. But I manage 2 guys, and I can tell you from all my years of working that the managers or bosses that I've had in the past, unfortunately mostly women, I have learned a lot of what I don't want to be like as a manager. And another unfortunate thing was when I first started my career in mortgage loans. Yvonne and I were actually working at the same bank, but she left like a month after I started, so we really didn't get to know each other. And she was like the loan manager boss at the bank, and I was a loan processor for one of the loan officers. So, but from day one, I heard great things about Yvonne at the bank, at that time. And unfortunately, I didn't get to really interact with her until I met her here at ABWA. So, but being a supervisor now, and as a career person, just working at various organizations, I try to learn from how my bosses treat others, and I try to take like, I don't want to be like that person in their management style in some ways. So that's what I take from a lot of years in the, you know, in the workforce. So I know Yvonne will give us great tips on how to be a great manager and not an evil manager. So
And just to tag on what Tammy says, we can learn just as much from a poor management experience, and to take away, like I said, gosh, if I'm in that position, I want to remember not to do that, or however that was. So that's why I added, I've been in the workforce for 48 years, because in those positions when I was not a direct manager, you try to glean ideas of what worked for you, what resonated with you, what brought out in you to be the best employee you can be, right? And then I'm still being managed too, because I have managers above me. So we're always looking at that. And you know, management, it can be, you know, weeks long courses, you know, semesters, years on end, continually learning. And oh, before I move on, did I miss anybody in the group? Did someone not share? Did we get everyone? I'm trying to look through there, to the list who's on.
Only Tessie, but I don't know if she
Oh, no,
stepped back.
because whether she's on or not. Okay.
if her audio is working.
Okay. So when we talked about this topic, this is one I think I'm more familiar with, because I'm always constantly thinking of how can I be a better manager. And when I read through, because I wanted to give not only my personal experience, but what is online, there is a myriad of information online of how to be a good manager, how to be a good leader. And those of you who've been with our chapter, I believe it was 2 years ago, I did a session on what's the difference between a manager, a good manager and a good leader. And you need both, because it doesn't diminish being a manager. You also have to manage well as being a leader, one who inspires, encourage, right? How do you bring loyalty in the company, retention, all of those things. So this is, I'm only doing a small slice and pieces. I've got a general overview, because there's one article that resonated well with me after going through several things online. Then I'm going to make it personal, okay, of how I feel like what makes a difference, or what I try to aspire to. Okay, so let me see if I can get to the next slide. Yay! Okay, what is an awesome manager, right? And we all have ideas of what's an awesome manager. And if we had more time, because I'm already seeing that we're already, you know, like 20 minutes into the presentation, keep that to yourself. I'm not going to go around right now, but what does an awesome manager look like? And I'm sure we're going to have, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and myself 10, we're all going to have different ideas. What we're going to say, first, what is an awesome manager? And there's different pieces and parts that are important. And so what are key? And we might find at the core, there's some similar things. So the article that I liked, her name is Kelly Wong, and she's a senior content marketing manager at Achievers. And she updated the article January 2020, 12 must-have qualities of a manager. And her article resonated the best. And there was another one that says 5 basic qualities, and it's incorporated within hers. So I wanted to go through them. And for all of you on this call, you don't have to take copious notes, because I'm going to share this with you. So you can take some notes on the side, but this PowerPoint I'm going to have available so that it would be, I don't know the best way, if it's on site and you can copy it, or we can send it out. I'm not sure if we have email links, but just want to let you know I'll make it available to all of you, okay? So one essential quality is a work culture of mutual trust. And that came out in a lot of articles. So what does that mean when you talk about trust? And you hear about, you need a manager you can trust. So it's someone who creates an environment it's safe to share ideas and suggestions. Because if you don't feel like it's going to be valued, or they're not going to pay attention, or even the second bullet, their arrow, to give you credit for your contribution, you're not going to get that. And why that is important is your organization doesn't improve or get better unless you get the feedback. And you should want it, because we can always continually to get better. That's the mindset an organization should have, and your manager should embody that. Again, these are like essential qualities and important. So if you've ever been in an office or a work environment where you don't feel safe to share ideas, they don't want ideas, they said the way we do it is fine, it's perfect, don't mess it up, then you stagnate, because the industry you're in will continue to grow and evolve, and otherwise you're no longer relevant. Your business, your product isn't, if you're not open to new ideas and suggestions. And your best ways to get it are even people who are working in the department. So that's why trust is important. And I don't know if you ever shared ideas and someone else took credit for it. That's the worst feeling. And that had happened to me before. So I just want to say it's important that if you're a manager, make sure you give credit to the person who gives you the idea, because that will encourage more sharing, and you want that, okay? And make it safe to ask questions, that they don't feel stupid. You know, you'd rather someone ask questions, they get the right answers, so we don't have, you know, you don't have issues or problems going forward. And that they can ask for help, okay? Help is not a weakness. That is always important. Don't make them feel stupid about it. And it's safe to make mistakes. So, because you want to know about the mistakes early on, because that's how you can address them. And before it becomes a bigger issue, we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. That's why we're humans. So to remember, it's safe to make mistakes too. And on all of that, then address it. How can you avoid it? You give them guidance, because then that improves the employee too. That person gets better. Okay. And then we learn, wow, maybe we need to change our process or procedure so that mistake doesn't happen, or the likelihood of that doesn't happen. So see, it's twofold, because how we can improve our process. So again, building a culture of mutual trust embodies all of that, okay? Anything pressing someone wants to share at this point?
This just sounds like ABWA.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do, because in our chapter, we try to promote all of us trying to become better leaders, and it's a safe place to practice, okay? So we can be imperfect. So we welcome the feedback, okay? All right. And they focus on employee strengths. So it's important. Sorry, I thought I turned off my phone. All right. That you want different personality traits. Now, in the workbook, they did not have this disc. And there's so many programs out there to identify what are the personality strengths of your workforce. And because American Savings Bank uses DISC, and DISC stands for, if you can look on the slide, to are you of dominance, you know, that characteristic, and it shows, you know, the bullet points under that, or one of influence, of steadiness, or conscientiousness. So you need the embodiment. All studies that have shown you need all aspects of personality. If you can hire to that, you're lucky, right? You're fortunate. And try to build, when you're hiring or you have the opportunity to add to your team, that you have your workforce that embodies these different aspects. And most of us share all of these, but in different degrees, right? And we need that. And that what makes a company dynamic. So part of your responsibility as a manager is to look bigger, you know, for your company, because you want your business to be relevant no matter where you are in the pecking order, right? The management order of your company, to keep that in mind so your company will stay strong, you'll be employed, right? So again, what that means is you don't have someone who is maybe great in the sales aspect going out, maybe just focusing on the back shop that's just looking at papers on the books or whatever. You find what are the strengths. Does someone have good communication skills, like to talk to people? There's actually some people who like problem resolution. They like the challenge of that. So you need to learn, you know, to know the personality types. And whether can these skills be learned? Yes, they can be. But uh, you're going to have personalities that are more focused in these other fields, in these areas. Okay, so again, just being aware of it, and you need to learn. It's a process. And be careful not to pigeonhole someone just one way, because they can develop and actually move in other areas. They don't stay in that same personality traits, yeah, order area. Any questions on that right now? Okay, and you're welcome to, you know, because the way my screen is set up, I can't see everyone right now. But if you raise your hand, I'm not going to see it, but feel free to talk, because our group is small enough. You can just open up and share. Okay. The next one, you don't micromanage. Okay, I don't know if you had a manager that's asking what you're doing every minute, and it can erode initiative and damage employee motivation on how it's done. And some things, yes, there's critical points depending what kind of job you have that you need to check in. Hey, have you gotten to that point? Whatever. Micromanage is when you're checking, oh, how long did you spend on the project? Did you go out to lunch that way? You know, um, it incorporates a lot of areas. So just be aware of what micromanaging is. It's a broad definition, but check if you're doing it. Again, the kind of work you do may require you to do check-ins, but in general, if you can hire a team that you trust or you train to get the job done, then you only need to do interval checks, right? That a good manager would do, but not micromanage. And I like this cartoon. I like Dilbert. So I forgot the name of the characters, but he goes, a great leader hires good people and gives them the freedom to do their job, right? And he goes, but I don't have the budget to hire good people, so I settle for micromanaging the half-wits I can't afford. And of course, the other character says, your boss was just in here saying the same thing. So again, I thought that was really funny. But anywho, try to be aware if you're a micromanager, check yourself, right? Sometimes it's hard to see how we're managing, but just be aware, right? And they're assertive. So, so what does that mean? An assertive manager also has to be empathetic and diplomatic. Have you ever had a manager that was quiet? And that's okay. You can have quiet managers, but to get things done, you have to be assertive. You need to make sure your team's message is heard. And there's another one, you've got to be brave. Oh, here, it's right on this one. Fearlessness is essential. So if you get an idea, I mean, and your team is sharing, and you need to go higher up, or there's the owner of the company or the board, you have to be, you know, if you believe in it, first of all, you have to be willing to share and go up. If you felt a decision isn't good from upper management or a new policy, hopefully you were a manager they tapped to help form that policy. But if you don't really truly feel it's right, you're getting the feedback from your team, you've got to speak on behalf of your team. Hey, this is not working and why. It's not just ranting and raving, I don't like it, but give feedback so you can make the change or why a certain new mandate may not be good. And maybe the team didn't understand why a certain policy is in place. Then it's your job after you did go up, you were assertive, you took care of the issue or got feedback from upper management, you can explain it to your team, right? So that's really important, that fearlessness, yeah. Because I've had a manager that says, oh no, I don't want to rock the boat. Hey, let's just keep it this way. No, and sometimes it was for fear of their position. And I think you're more at risk as losing your position if you don't share things to make your team better. So you need that fearlessness to be able to speak on behalf of your team. Then maybe you shouldn't be in that position, right? You have to think that through because you need to be assertive. And again, another word I can say is fearless. Okay, all right. Again, feel free to interject. I'll try to listen for you. Okay. And they help develop employees' careers. Okay, why is that important? I've been in situations where other managers don't want to give additional training to their teammates, not just on the job, but that could expand their careers and build their strengths because they're afraid of losing that employee. And I think that's, I don't want to say it's the worst thing you can do, but employees are going to see that you would want them to grow and get better. They're only going to get better in their job, or there might be other positions they can be in because you'll lose them anyway if you don't help their growth. And I'm looking at Kelsey right now, but I've noticed the younger employees I have, they want to learn and grow in the job and get other positions. They may not be content at a certain position years and years. And I've had work employees who've been in the same position for like 20 years because they feel secure. But a good manager will also check in with your team. You should have, whether it's monthly, weekly meetings, however, hopefully it's not quarterly. I think that's too far apart to check in with your teammates about where they are personally in their growth and employment, and where they are with the company. So again, it's important to help, develop their careers. So again, to read the bullets like master new skills, build their strengths, it'll only help your department as they get better. And it does convey a powerful message about how you care about their personal well-being too. And that helps create loyalty. And we've had cases where I've had a couple of employees, they get so good and they get picked off by other companies, they do so well. But the feedback, they see the company where we are, where we help build good people, that they come into because the reputation is there, the community is small. In a certain industry, usually they know each other within an industry amongst companies. So you want to build a reputation where you're one that you develop your employees to. And that is the mindset of American Savings Bank. And just a little commercial for the bank. It's now 11 years in a row we've won the title of Best Places to Work. And in order to do that, we do employee surveys of how they feel about the company and opportunities. So we always try to develop the strengths of our team. Okay.
Yvonne,
Long.
I think a lot of times the employers, they may not assist the underlings because they feel threatened, that they're going to take their position. or, you know, and that's kind of the sad way to see it. But if you can kind of relate some of your points to ABWA, because I think this reflects a lot on the leadership training, you know, even this point that you brought up.
Right. Well, what Patty's alluding to, we've had members who go through, through our speakers and through the practice of running and managing even the chapter, because we have so many personality types, right? We have so many backgrounds that they build confidence. And I hope we are confidence builders, but in the right way. So we temper it on what ABWA ideals are, right? In doing it in the right way. And so they've gone on to other jobs and careers, and they got the, what's the word? Not strength, the fearlessness, or where they've actually moved to the mainland.
The confidence.
Took the confidence.
And the good self-esteem.
Yeah,
and then they left us.
I know. And so a lot of them who become presidents. So I don't know. Denise, don't get any ideas, okay? She's our double president, back-to-back years president. Okay, moving along. Oh gosh, I want to be mindful of your time. Okay, 20 more minutes. Okay, they handle pressure well, okay? You don't know someone who flies off that, oh my God, right? And that does not set a good atmosphere. When there's pressure, you need a manager who can handle it and address it, is even tempered. Because I've had managers that I'm not sure if I want to talk to them. And you don't want them to say, oh my God, so-and-so's in a lot of pressure today. I'm not going to talk to them. Your employees need you every day. You need to be available and open to them every day. So, and no matter what your management positions, there's always going to be pressure, different degrees of pressure, right? And the second bullet, to balance that, it's important to take good care of yourself so you can withstand those pressures, right? And that's good health, whether it's sleeping enough. When you don't have enough sleep, that affects how you manage. And be aware that if you didn't have enough sleep, think before you speak or how you act or make a decision. And you've got to eat, good health. We cannot emphasize that enough. And that was never mentioned in earlier management things. You need to take care of your health because you yourself have to be in a good frame of mind. And that's mental health too. Whether that means you have to go out and exercise to release some of that stress, to put into perspective. And some talk to others in the industry. If you have people that you feel safe, in your confidants that you can talk to, people get coaches, and that's good too. If you have coaches, a lot of excellent managers have coaches they can speak to, or even mentors within their company or other companies. So if you don't have one now, I would say seek out a mentor that you feel safe with to bounce some ideas off. And again, I'm looking at Patty. She would say ABWA provides that place where we can get feedback and says, hey, you know, this is happening at work. What do you think? Or sometimes we're not even asking for advice. This is what's happening. And you get feedback because we all have different degrees of experience too. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move on. We communicate honestly. And it's a sensitive, you know, the first bullet is to be candid. It's giving feedback when you communicate. And again, your employees won't know if there's something they can improve on or do better, or you need to guide the behavior a certain way. You need to be candid. It says, hey, you know, and there's a way of doing it. I've read in some, you start off with a positive. It says, hey, we're hitting great numbers, right? Because I'm production. But it's at a toll of this. We need to take a look at what we're doing on this aspect. I see some of us were doing this, you know, a certain behavior. We've got to get better, right? The support staff's under pressure too. And remember, you're not the only one. Sometimes we think we're the only one, you know, on your teammates when they're having whatever issues. So again, you need to be candid. And it's tricky because I work with a sales team, and I'm going to pull it more to me in when we wrap. But if you come down too hard or how you present an issue, they could close up. And they have other customers they need to take care of. And as a young manager, I remember that even though you're relaying a message from a higher up, hey, this behavior isn't good, you got to change that, you no longer do that. And we've had it where they totally clam up, that they disappear. You don't see them, that they shut out, and you don't want go into a hibernation mode. So it's really need to be real careful how you do the feedback, but it's important. And Harvard Business Review, we pulled this piece, says, a great manager gives direct feedback and doesn't hide behind truths or a shield of politeness. That being said, you still need to be sensitive. There's a way of doing it, okay, in choice of words. And there's a whole course on language, how you can say the same thing, but there's a way you say it. So you don't shut off the person who's getting that feedback, okay? But just be aware. I mean, that's a workshop in itself, and I've taken tons of those. And I think that's helped where, and a little offside, my adult son was said, I'm always being politically correct, because he's very blunt in his language, but I said, you can't always talk to your team that way, that you're trying to rally and you're trying to change behavior, okay? And again, just the closing remark, your employees will have trouble improving if they don't understand what behaviors are problematic. So keep that in mind, okay? All right. Be open to new ideas. And that's really important, because as a manager, you might think, I know it all. I'm the best. They made me manager because I know what I'm doing, right? You need to change that mindset, because in anything, there's always room for improvement. And you don't want to get in that position where there's so many great companies that have gone out to business because their products didn't improve, their service didn't improve, because there's others out there who are going to follow these other ideas and mandates to get better. So keep an open mind. That's the only way new ideas can come in. But I'm laughing, and I saw this a lot on open minds, but not so much that your brain falls out. So not every new idea is a great idea. You got to think it through, but be open to suggest it, talk it through, make sure you understand the idea, give the person who's trying to suggest it an idea to understand it. But again, temperate. So again, just keep an open mind. That's the basic on this. Okay, next. They have strong analytical abilities. So what does that mean? What does strong cognitive and analytical approach is vital to leadership? It leads to good decision making. How do you define smart? You know, you need someone, and it's not smart, it's not intelligent, it's
kind of doing the pluses and minuses, I think, of an issue.
Yeah, you need someone who can take all the information and put it in a semblance of, the word is not order, I want to say, but they can see it, how to pull it in, because you're going to have a ton of ideas. How do you pull what's good or not? And we get better at it the more we do it. It's a learned ability. And sometimes we don't make the right decision. After looking at all the feedback we get, all the research we do going out, and sometimes there's not one best decision. Maybe there isn't a best decision, but you're going to make the best decision with the information you have in the environment you're in, and make sure your team knows that. And then it's subject to change, because after you make the decision and you're working with whatever decision you make and it's not right, be brave enough, fearless enough, and humble enough to say, hey, we made the we didn't make the best decision. We need to adjust midfield. And you have to be able to do that, be reactive to it too. But not to the point that every day something's changed. Okay, maybe this is not the best. We're set up, let's go this path for a while, but acknowledge. So again, you need to have strong analytical abilities. Because I don't know if you had some bosses, I know we always said, that was really stupid. Yeah, you know, and we all are, you know, guilty. We might not have made the best decision after getting all the decisions, but I don't know how you get that, but you're trying to look for someone who is smart. I mean, sometimes you know it when you have a boss that's on it, that gets it, that sees it. And this has to go with street smarts too, right? Is another way of putting it. That's important. Okay, I'm gonna move
But
on.
Yvonne, you had mentioned like because of COVID, your management team has learned about people working at home and being more
Yes.
open to that concept.
Yes, yes. And you know what? We're very fortunate because the bank initially was kind of, I don't want to say the word fearful, for anxious or concerned. Are these people going to work? And, you know, we have teammates, and you're going to learn later, that have 15, 20, 30 years in this industry, and their work ethic, the people that we have, you can depend, you can rely on that they will get the job done. They've been working the 16 hours a day. And what's hard is they can't separate walking from the kitchen table where they set up their desk to walking to the living room to relax, or into the kitchen to start cooking, making dinner or whatever, because there's not that separation. You didn't hop in a car and drive 30 minutes or an hour home to decompress or whatever. So we're finding we have to be careful to watch for burnout, because a lot of them are verging on there because there's no place they can go, right? I know we've been locked down on travel. So, I mean, a staycation is not really vacation. They've been home all this time. So we're trying to be mindful of that. But that's right. Thanks. All right, moving along. They recognize and reward good work. It's so important to recognize when someone's doing a good job. And that leads to loyalty and higher retention. And coupled with that, find out how someone likes to be acknowledged. Because I would think like, I like to be acknowledged. I want everyone to know, right? But a lot of people don't. And I learned that the hard way, that someone came and talked to me that they were very upset in tears that I shared what they did. So I have to be very mindful of that. And just from personal experience, but I learned from being an early manager, everyone wanted to be acknowledged the same way. So just be, again, mindful. But in general, most want to be acknowledged. And especially in my field where it's more volume, it's sales, so it's competitive. That is important in my line of work. So if you have someone that does a really good job where they got more clients, they sold more of something, the quality of work, you know, there's something, whatever it's measured by, or great achievement that you've been working towards this goal, or even finishing a project, celebrate. It's so important to celebrate and acknowledge and take the time to do so. This is nothing new. I know all of you have heard that, but again, just to reiterate, if you aren't doing it, just try to think, am I doing that enough? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we still have to
And,
celebrate Tammy's Chapter Women of the Year
and birthdays.
And Brittany's and our scholarship winners and everything. It's all
Right, the
delayed.
scholarship winners, all of that. And then you're a role model. Remember, your team looks up to you. You represent the company, right? So you need to set an example and express diligence, enthusiasm, and the skills you expect from the people you manage. So if you don't show it, I mean, they're saying, well, why should I do it? She doesn't do it, right? Why should I? And so you're the best role model the behaviors that you want, you should exhibit. Or, and this goes as simple as, gosh, I like a clean office. And to some people, that's not important. Or neat office. Don't look at my home, but look at my office, it's neat, right? And then you do that even around the office, straighten things, clean things. If things would be, and you know what? You'll see other people picking up and doing the same thing. They'll model the behavior because you care about it, the environment, right? Okay. And communicate. This is almost like the other one, but to reward, to acknowledge and reward the great work. If you're in a position when you can reward, and this is, doesn't have to always be monetary, but with certificates, plaques, on our intranet, we tout our top performers in our intranet. So even people within the bank said, oh, these are our top people, and they'll get more calls for internal referrals to do mortgages, right? Even something small. I remember getting so excited getting a coffee card. So that, hey, thank you, we appreciate a little thing for appreciation. I loved it. I had the coffee card sitting, I think it was a $10 coffee card, but I felt so good. I forgot what the accomplishment that I did. I did a certain task or whatever, and I got rewarded. The acknowledgement was nice. So think about ways you can reward. Okay? And then, because it's Halloween, I have a bonus one. And on a lot of things I've read, it says, practice self-awareness, okay? And grow your leadership skills every day, every day. Don't feel like, oh, okay, now I'm a manager, I'm there. No, I mean, we can all get better, okay? So, and things that they had listed within that, improve time management. And I do not do that well. I'm the first one to raise my hand. You know, I don't do that well. So what I can do, learn to delegate. A lot of us aren't good delegators. And remember, other people can do a good job too. Don't be afraid. If you feel I'm the only one who can do a perfect job on this task, but are you helping your team to grow, right? Are you going to grow as a manager? Part of it is trying to enhance the skill set of your team. And that's okay. Learn to delegate. Because they learn by when you delegate. And then that leaves more time for you, so you have better time management. You can focus on things that are important to the company. There's other more important things you can do. And it's okay not to know everything. I'm the first one to raise my hand all the time. Gee, I don't know. Shoots, I got to check on it. It's okay to say I don't know. And a lot of new managers feel like they have to know everything. And it's no, you don't. As long as you know how to find the answers, or say, hey, I'm not sure, but let me check, I'll find out. At least you can go and get the answer, or you're teaching your team how to find the answer, right? And our job is to engage and guide. And that's what I gleaned from a lot of other websites. I mean, a good manager, you engage your team. Because that's also, they want to do a good job, they want to be there, so that's important, and help guide them, right, as a manager. So these are what I gleaned from some other websites that I read. Okay, I'm going to move kind of quickly. Sorry, I'm nearing the top of the hour right here. And so why do they say that I'm an awesome manager most of the time? Okay, and it has to be in context of who you manage. And when I did research on this topic, it said this can go in so many directions because it depends what your industry is, your management level, right? Whether you're the top, executive, a mid-manager, or just a team leader. I shouldn't say just, a team leader. All roles are important. And then the age of your teammates, their experience level, that all makes a difference on how you manage, right? And my teammates, I have 9 residential loan officers, 5 loan officer assistants, a production assistant, and a temporary receptionist. Okay, they range in age from 30s to the 60s, And the majority of my teammates are in their 50s, and I have a couple older than me, okay? And most have like 15 to 20 plus years in the business. So I'm working with seasoned professionals. And even on the younger end of the spectrum, I have a branch manager who became a loan officer. She's in her early 40s, and she's in her third year in the business. And I have another young, I call them young because only 5 years in the business, because our industry is complex. And so I have an experienced team. And again, I think what my strengths are, what we started off as having a safe environment where they can come to me, because if they don't feel comfortable to approach me, I can't help guide the team. So I want them to ask for questions and guidance, but then I also show them how they can find answers for themselves, because I'm not always going to be around, and that it's okay to ask the teammates, because you don't want to create, although they're competitive, but that they share. And once you develop a culture of sharing, they'll share more. They want to outdo each other on sharing. Once it, hey, well, I learned if I did this, this works well. And then it'd be amazing how it floods in. Oh yeah, how about this? And you create a culture of sharing. So even though they're competitive with each other, we're saying, although you can be competitive with each other, we're all teammates. We all get better. When everyone is successful, it helps the whole company. Our competition is outside. They want to say, why are they coming to American Savings Bank? Why is this a good place to do your financing? So that's all, and I know I'm expanding on it, but it's all with keeping it a safe place to share. And a safe place they can share their mistakes, their errors, and oversights. I had a new employee that I managed. I didn't find out until 2 weeks later. That person was afraid to tell me. And I told the person that I should be the least person to be afraid of. The ones we have to be afraid of are our customers if we lose our customers, right? So the thing is that, and that person learned, oh gosh, I made a mistake right off. I misquoted on pricing. I pre-qualified them wrong. They don't qualify the property now. Oh my God, you need to, how can you resolve it? And I always recommend they come with the problem and the solution. So how do you think we can resolve and make it work? And that gets them to feel empowered. Okay. And okay, I know I'm at the top of the hour. I'm going to try to get through here. Not too many more. And you create an environment when they can do their job well and they can succeed. So whatever industry you're in, do they have the equipment to succeed? So if you look at the bullet points I put in here, you provide the training, the product knowledge, sales skills training. So I bring in people, or I glean the training and get the sales skills so I can share with the team together, okay? And you provide the equipment, basic stuff. Do they have the laptops, extra monitors? So they're working from not one monitor, maybe 2 or 3 to help do their job better. Do they have cell phones? Do they have the Wi-Fi thingies that they can do their job on the road, meeting customers outside? And something simple as business cards, get it to them right away. Are they effective? So all the things to help them do their business well. Do you have competitive pricing, products, processes? Can you always improve that? And underwriting support. We can be the best originators in the company. And again, I'm just making it for my business, but you're only as good as your back shop to push it out. So not only am I looking at the team, my team, to get better, what can we do on the back shop that we can get the loans through on a timely manner? We meet contract deadlines, that's so important. You can ask Patty, if you don't meet those contract dates, your buyer could be out of that purchase if the seller holds to, hey, I got a backup offer. Sorry, you didn't meet the deadline of the contract. I'm going to go to the backup buyer who offered 20,000 more, right? So you need to make sure not only your shop does it right in doing their work, doing their job well, so it goes through, but even the back shop. So your job as a manager kind of expands beyond. And then marketing support. If you're that good, how do you get the word out, right? So you're looking at all, and I know I didn't list a lot of them, but this is what my team can expect from me, right? And I don't know, it's in varying degrees how important to have a physically safe, clean, and welcoming environment, but that's important too. During this COVID, that it's a safe place for them to come in and work. What are we doing? I'm so lucky the bank is really strong on making sure we keep the place clean. The protocols, how many people can meet in a room, where we're going to meet, things like that. And treat everyone with respect. I think that's important. Everyone, be aware you don't use condescending language. Be aware how you speak, the vocabulary change. Again, these are courses in itself. The tone, body language, your time and intention. Are they important enough that you make time for them, right? And it could be, hey, I can't talk to you right now, but can we meet in about 30 minutes, right? And just say, oh no, I'm too busy, I can't talk to you. Give them this, because you know it's important. They wouldn't come in to see you unless it was important. And remember to get back to them. And I tell them sometimes I get so busy, I'm sorry, if I don't get back to you, can you come back in? So they don't take it personally, they know, right? We're busy now. Be inclusive, number 4. And I have to just be aware of what you're doing. Are you including everyone? Did you exclude someone? Be mindful of when you're doing something that you're inclusive, okay? Again, we can spend more time on it, but just be aware of it, okay? But you can be competitive in what you're doing, but make sure you're inclusive of everyone on the team, okay? Be fair. Fair is not equal, okay? And just being aware when you make decisions on who's going to be on a team, if you're having a smaller team within a team to be on a certain project, you let the team know ahead of time, hey, I'm going to look for these kind of qualities. Usually it's production based, or someone's willing to sit at a project. They have that ability, whatever it is, but make sure you explain your decision so you don't show favoritism, okay? You are going to have favorites, but explain why. That's really important. A place where they feel like you're not fair, you're not going to keep employees. And keep a professional demeanor. Again, that's going back to the other one, learn to handle stress well. That's really important. And you've got to be on at 110, 120% all the time. You can't have a bad day. You can't, no matter how you're feeling before you go out the door, before you step into the office, it's your best day. It's a trained kind of attitude. Okay, there are whole courses on attitude, but it's attitude. People are going to pick up on it, how you come in the morning. And you know what? The more you do it, it becomes natural. They think I'm cheery all the time. They don't know what's going on. I'm worried about a lot of stuff going on, but they're going to think, hey, Yvonne's in the best place. She looks calm and whatever, but you don't know about the 120 things on my brain that I need to worry about and whatever. And you need to be present where you are at all times. I'm not good about that. Sometimes I'm not always paying attention, but it's important that you be present for your team when you're talking to them, or whatever you're working on. And I didn't do a slide on this, but it's really important, is servant leadership, servant manager. If you can have that attitude that you're serving your teammates, those that you manage, if you get into that mindset, I mean, your teammates, it works exponentially, how they give back, improve. You see them grow. I just can't say that enough. Okay, I know I shared a lot of concepts, and you can't learn everything in an hour, a little bit more than an hour. Sorry, hour 10. I think that was it. Is this the last slide? Oh, and be kind. I've taken management courses for the past 30 plus years. Kindness became like #1 in the past 10 years. in whatever you do, management styles, this is for men, not only as well as women, to be kind, because that can go in so many different directions. But on the dishes, what you do is to be kind. Okay, remember that. Because management isn't being something mean, forceful, you know, whatever your concepts were, right? Or are. Okay. Is that it? Okay. I have a questions section. Sorry, it is like 11:08 and we were not trying to go over an hour. I spoke all the time, so sorry I didn't get feedback. If this was done in a workshop, we could break it up. This would be at least 2 hours. So, and then that was still a lot to cover in 2 hours. Zoom is essentially one way unless we have a lot of time. But you know, I'm going to call on you, one, to just share something, some feedback or your thoughts that you wanted to share. So I'm going to go by my screen. I'm going to skip Patty for now. Patty, don't take that personally. I know Patty, that's why. But Kelsey, you're on my screen next. Can I have any commentary or questions from you?
I thought it was really interesting. Also, because like right now I'm also taking a management class for my major, and I definitely see like quite a bit of overlap with like what we learned in classes, like you said. Then like also kind of got to like hear a bit more in depth too about like your experiences. Um, I guess the question that really stuck out for me, like from the very beginning, not necessarily to do with like management, but like seeing that I had like a lot of years in the workforce, how do you like keep going without feeling bored? I'm not sure if that was the right way to word that, but
I'm not sure if I quite understand your question. Can you rephrase it again? I'll try to pay attention better.
like I guess like seeing that you've like worked for like so long in the workforce, especially like with in the industry that you're in right now, how do you find a way to like not be bored with like this work you've been doing or
Ah, okay. Anyone who talks to me, I'm the most biased person in my industry. I think I have the best job. It's exciting to me because what I do, what we do is we get mortgage loans for people. So our clientele changes constantly. So when you're talking to people and you're learning the background, we learn how much they make, what they save, what they're spending on, what they're buying. People are interesting for us, and the service we give into getting into their homes is very rewarding. They're usually very grateful that we got them the financing to buy a home or the financing to build their investment portfolio by buying more real estate. So it's emotionally rewarding. And then our industry has changed so much that it's never boring. Uh, and I had a job, I was bored when I first started out, and that's the worst thing. Being bored is the worst thing. You're looking at the clock, you can't wait till 5 o'clock or whenever your workday ended, so you can go home and do something you enjoy. So what I would say to you, find what your passion is, what industry you want to get into. And it maybe at an entry level might not be the most exciting, but maybe a company where their mission, what they do resonates with you, and that's important. And don't expect the job to satisfy all your creative or needs or whatever, but look to other organizations. That's why I love ABWA. It gave me other facets and dimensions. And I'll let someone else to answer Kelsey. Someone else want to? Donna, you've been a long time with ABWA. You have something to tell Kelsey?
Well, you know, I'm in the human resource management field, and I attended earlier this month, I attended the Society for Human Resource Management conference. And the theme of that conference was inside out leadership. And so what it is that, you know, you have to understand yourself and your style. And by knowing yourself, then maybe you can reach out to others in helping manage or to lead people based on your self-awareness. So that's what I got out of the conference itself. And as Yvonne, as you said, you know, you gotta find what you're passionate about. And that's where your purpose in life will come from, what your passion is from inside. And I have a personal statement that I say, be passionate about what you do, show compassion in understanding others. Most of all, enjoy life. Take time to smell the roses.
Love it. Love it. Thanks so much for sharing, Donna. And Kelsey, I'm so glad you've been attending our meetings. It'll be great when we can see you in person instead of Zoom. And you'll glean some of this. You'll grow from that. And since Brittany is now on video, it sounds like, Brittany, did you have something you want to share with Kelsey along that line?
I'm sorry, I missed the past like 5 minutes. What?
Oh, okay. But Kelsey just asked a really good question. But but we'll share with you more in the future, Kelsey, and you'll glean to find a job. Some jobs have boring sessions or parts to it, but hopefully you'll find something that you're excited about and you look forward to going to work every day. Okay. All right.
Can I just add something? I think the one thing I've learned, well, for me, it's more not the passion, but just the respect, like how, like they always respect or learn to treat others how you would want to be treated. So even as a manager or as a boss or an employee or a customer or a provider, whatever you're doing in your field, just have the respect for others. Like, how do you want to be treated? How would I want to be treated as a customer or a fellow employee or a staff member? And if I'm the boss, how would I want to be, passing down how I wanted to be treated? Like if I'm the staff person looking up at my boss, okay, if I want my boss to treat me with respect and honesty, and if I have things to say, how does that person take it into account? So as Yvonne said, wrapping up kind of in general of all her tips, everything that she pointed out, unfortunately, my current manager does not take all these into account. So like you said, working from home, it was a big stickler when the city went on lockdown. She still doesn't trust people working from home. And granted, not everybody's going to put in their 8 hours, but how are you going to prevent it? Unless you have people. And her assistant manager actually kind of told me this before he retired. It's like, if the person's not going to work full 8 hours or put in their full time or not think that it's important for them to work independently, it doesn't matter where they are. If they can be in the office or they can be at home, if they're not going to work, they're not going to work. So you have to just put that trust in your employees. So it works both ways, and that's what I've learned over the years. So hopefully, as all of us grow and learn different management styles, my main thing is respecting the other person and just be yourself. I mean, you have to be a boss, but in some ways, but then, you don't have to be condescending or overbearing, like micromanaging. And
Exactly.
my current bosses.
And you're not going to possess all these traits right away, but just be mindful. If you can, great, but work towards it to get better at it.
So I think that's the main concept. Just basically be yourself and treat others how you want to be treated, And a lot of times when the bosses management gets higher rankings, even in the city, they forget where they came from. How to treat other people a lot of times. So I think just being cognizant of that, it'll take you a long way. You'll get frustrated, but in a sense, but I think in overall, just be yourself and just be cognizant of how you treat others, you know.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to be mindful of your time. If you have to sign off, I won't feel offended, but I'm really enjoying this feedback this time after going through this. So thank you for staying on the Zoom call. And Gail, it's so good to see your face again. Could we have you share your thoughts?
I've been here the whole time, just dealing with
Uh-huh.
trick-or-treaters at my mom's and everything else. I think you were definitely spot on, Yvonne, with so many of the different, the right qualities of leaders. And I think just kind of tying it back around to the one of your first slides with the DISC profiles is, I think if you look at all 12 or 13 of your slides, you'll find qualities that are part of each one of those DI SRCs. So you really have to be a hodgepodge, depending who you're working with, who you're managing, and getting to know those people that you manage better. They'll respect you for that too, and to communicate with them how they like to be communicated with. Because as you mentioned, not everyone wants that formal recognition. And I experienced that in one of my roles too, that, they were upset that you called them out, but it was calling them out positively. We thought that it was going to be a positive thing, but yeah, it didn't turn out to be so much. So definitely spot on. Thank you for sharing that. And I think especially you've got some younger gals on here too that maybe, as they said, they don't have that managerial experience, but I'd encourage you all just to definitely take it to heart, because what she shared is spot on.
Thank you for sharing that, Gail. We really appreciate you being on the call with us. Makes us feel special, so thank you. Okay, and Brittany, could we have you share any thoughts?
I love that I finally got to hear Yvonne's thoughts on leadership, because we all know that you are such a great leader, not only within our organization, but of course in your at ASB as well. But
thank you.
but it was just interesting to hear, because in my head it's just, knowing or being part of this group, I know a lot of or all of us have very similar, philosophies, I guess, when it comes to how you internalize leadership skills and stuff like that. But it's interesting that you don't really see that all the time. It's actually, I don't know, I don't find it very common to see that. So it's kind of interesting to see our group, or like a group of us, having or sharing such similar ideas. And I just wish that, or I hope to see it prosper throughout other companies as well, or in the workplaces that we work at. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said, Brittany, and you can be the one to lead it, to model it. See, you lead. It's always lead by example, and they go, "Oh wow, look at Brittany. She's young and looks already exhibiting these qualities. It'll be noticed. Just be aware, it will be noticed." Okay. Thank you and that's important, that taking the time to recognize it, to try to get better. And like one of the parting slides was, continually improve. We all can continually get better. Okay. I'm going to call on the name with no face here, Anna Marie. Hi. Are you?
Hi.
You share with
Hi,
us?
Yvonne. Yes,
Can't
I
see
was
your
listening.
face. Oh, I'm sad we can't see your face. All right.
Sorry. Yeah, because I'm doing errands right now, but oh my God, Yvonne, I'm so glad that I get to hear you speak again. And what Gail was saying, yes, you are spot on about the slides that you shared. important key about being team player and being open, having your doors always open, and to be, you know, kind to one another, and that we are here to support. And but what I really like is that even like for me right now, I changed career, but well, I changed company. I used to work at Kaiser for almost 18 years. And now I'm back into banking. I'm actually a contractor consultant. And so I'm helping First Hawaiian Bank, their competitor. Um, and they're
Congratulations.
actually converting their system. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I'm a new player. And like how Gail said, sometimes they look at you as a good thing or a bad thing when you're new to the team. And because COVID right now, like what Brittany shared, I think it was last week, Brittany, you shared with me that, oh, kind of hard, yeah, because you don't know who you're talking to in meetings. And said, yeah, actually, I'm glad that they gave me 1 week on the location, which is by Marukai, that big building, KIC, First Hawaiian Bank there. I stayed there for 1 week, and I made myself to actually go and look who are these people that is on the call, because I want to know who's the main players and what their role is, so that I know where to go in the project that I am responsible for. Because then we can really open to communicate. When you have a name and a face, it makes you more connected to being as a team than being an outsider and staying at home. You don't see each other. Some of them don't even have a camera. Majority of them don't have a camera, but we only hear voices. So me being new on the
hard.
team, yeah, it was very challenging. And I'm thrown into 10 different meetings, but I have to know. So I had to create spreadsheets of trackers of who are the ones talking, what is their subject matter expert is, so that when I'm doing the process, the analysis of the workflow, then I can understand who I need to reach out to. But yeah, in some meetings, I felt a negative vibe, like, oh, when somebody coming new, something's going to be changed. And it's like, it's not all about that, but it's just helping them. I'm here to support them because we're all here on a common goal. And that was the focus that I wanted. And I had to state that. So let them know that I'm arm in arm with them, going through this next phase, this next testing for them to be successful at. Because if the foundation is not built correctly, then this whole infrastructure can fall on their face, and it's going to cost millions, as well as what you said, the customers. That's our bread and butter. That's our revenue, is having and retaining our customers. So that was my speech to them. Was it this week or last week? But yeah, every team player, every call has a different focus on the project, and we just got to make sure that it's running smoothly, because I just want to help them. I'm not there I'm going to give my advice, like you said, your expertise, but also hear them out, because they've been here 20, 30 years. And some of them said, well, I'm going to retire. So who knows what it will be in the future? And it was like, do you want to leave a legacy of leaving that way, but yet help build what you built on? Because you contributed to what the company represents as of today and going forward. So yeah, I had to do a lot of speech of that last week and this week. So I like what your presentation. That's why I'm like, God, I gotta hear Yvonne speak today, no matter what. So thank you for your advice today, because those slides was perfect. I did screenshots because it helped me remember.
So I think you missed. I'm going to provide the whole PowerPoint to you folks. So you
Oh,
didn't have to take,
awesome.
I'm sorry to all those copious notes. So Tammy, if I email that PowerPoint to you, is there a way you post it? Is that how you can do it, or? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yeah, after this, I'll finalize the recording of this, and then I can send the PowerPoint out with the recording.
Oh, okay, great.
So
Thank you.
whoever registered for today plus our chapter that missed the people that missed it, I'll send it out, and then they can
Okay.
share with whoever they want to in case they find somebody that would benefit from this.
Mhm.
You can forward the email and the YouTube video and everything else.
Okay, thank you. So then I'll go ahead and forward the PowerPoint to you.
Yes.
Okay, great. So see, you folks will have access to it. Okay, good. Okay. Who did we not hear from? Oh, I see Min is back on. Min, are you in a position you can speak?
Yes, I'm actually driving. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna use my Zoom on my phone since heading to work.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this Zoom because it really resonates with me regarding kindness. I think that's kind of like my management style because of the type of work that I do is quite dynamic, very fast moving, and I have a lot of people going in and out of Moku Kitchen. So there's a bunch of turnovers because our type of coworkers or my type of employees that I hire are usually in transition, usually from leaving college or moving from another state. And our industry is it's quite easy to get in during a transition. And during that time, I feel like I understand that kindness is really huge because going through transition is hard for a lot of people. So usually when I walking from my office to the kitchen to the dining room, I always take the time to stay present and acknowledge my employees. It's like, hey, you're doing a great job, or I see you, like letting them know that you see them and they're doing a great job gives them so much empowerment for the day, for them to keep going throughout the shift, because it's not easy to be tending with like a lot of guests, different personalities, and then when you're in the weeds of like trying to make sure the timing of your desserts and your main dish is going in time, like there's a lot of multitasking moments. So if you have that time to just acknowledge your employees at that very moment, it goes a long way. So that's what I've noticed with.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Min. And I'm so excited Moku's is opening again because I miss the pies, just going there for dessert.
Yeah, we only have the strawberry pie right now. We're slowly expanding our menu. We just got our ravioli, our famous ravioli, back on last week. And right now it's actually all the management team working. So I'm actually pulled into like serving, running, busing, office manager. So it's a crazy time for the restaurant industry for sure. But I think one of the biggest things is being open to change.
Oh, yes. And when are you open? When are you opening?
We're open every day from 4 to 8. We're thinking expanding from Thursday to Saturday to 9 p.m. But I'm hearing rumors that we're going to rehire some of our employees next week. So I have a big meeting next week, Wednesday, to finalize the game plan.
Okay. Are you folks open today at 4?
Yes,
Ooh,
I'll be there.
okay.
I might be the busser runner. So come say hi.
All right, we'll have to film that. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for
Okay,
sharing.
and our fearless, okay, thank you, Min. And our fearless president here, Denise. You're on mute.
So I love our sharing with everybody because ABWA has really boosted all of us to become more confident. I could say that. But there's some other things that I've really learned, especially during COVID, is you don't have to just depend on your manager, because even if you're not in a management position, you could always thank and acknowledge anybody you want to, whether it's your coworker, whether it's your grandchildren, your child, anybody, whatever you feel is very important at that time. So with send out cards, Tammy and I learned about prompting. So whenever we have a prompting, that means like I could be thinking of Min, I could be thinking of Anna. And at that time, that's the time to just reach out, even if you wanted to say hi or, you know, great job or anything like that. So I feel like you could manage up or down. And I've learned from up or down, not just like waiting for my boss to say something. It's like I've learned from you guys. I've learned from, you know, sharing and all that. So anyway, that's my take on it.
Thank you, Denise. Did everyone get a chance to speak? Did I miss it? Oh, Patty, the one I skipped first. Patty.
No, that was a positive presentation, and it's good. I think that sharing different. It's not only applying it to management of people, but it's kind of managing yourself and your life. Whatever stage you're at, because you learn to just see the world being present and figuring out what you need to do to make your life or managing yourself to make yourself feel better. And then in turn, you end up expressing that to everybody else or sharing it with everybody else. So that's always positive. And Yvonne's always positive, so it's not a problem.
And I love
This is a happy group. And if I would say that when we get together, I miss you guys. I miss you guys. Oh, as busy as we are here, and I would grumble, oh gosh, I got to break from work to do this, but I look forward to ABWA. I really do. And that's why I've been in it since, gosh, Gail, you were since 1992, and I think I was since 1994. So you got 2 years on me, Gail, but have really enjoyed, I know, yeah. This chapter has done so much for me on the growth. And so for the newer members like Kelsey and Brittany, I've gained so much from the organization. And if you can ever make it to a conference, and I felt badly I didn't do the virtual conference because Denise is making me feel super guilty that, not only guilty, but bad that I didn't even attend, even though we had to get up at 5 a.m. for the first session in Hawaii, but she was just raving about how wonderful it was. But you learn so much, not only work-wise, but about life in general, and yourself, improving yourself on so many different levels. And it cannot help but spill over into your professional life. So I feel very fortunate for that. And then the friendships, the camaraderie amongst, all the ladies here, it is, has been very special. And I think that's one of the reasons I stay, because people say that, well, already, haven't you gleaned or learned enough? And you can constantly learn, but the friendship at the bottom of this, you build, lifelong friendships that will not be in your normal environment because it's not work related, right? So again, very fortunate to be in the lives of all these different ladies here. So great. Did I touch upon anyone? I can't even remember now. Did everyone get a chance to share? Anyone wants to share anything further? Okay.
I think your last slide really resonated with me. Just be kind to people. And that's one of our main sayings that our Send Out Cards founder has. That's why he created Send Out Cards, not only acting on your promptings, but sharing your kindness throughout the world to people. So just be kind to one another. That's what he always says. Just be kind to one another, and just love everybody. So that's what I think it does carry into the workplace and whatever. So just be kind to people.
Thank you for what a wonderful closing commentary and remark. Thank you, Tammy, to just kind of pull it all together. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you who are on this call. I said, how many people are going to come on a Saturday morning want to listen to management tips? Because we had a lot more exciting topics earlier, but I'm happy for all of you who are here. If you can glean a few ideas, or if it helped reinforce what you're doing, thank you. And love seeing all of you, and a special treat having Gail join us today. Thank you, thank you.
Gail, thank you.
All
Thanks,
right.
Yvonne.
Okay.
Thanks. I was wondering if
Okay.
there was any special management tips in Hawaii that we don't have here in Michigan. No.
Oh, yeah.
It's worldwide, all the same, you know, like you said.
It's
treat people with
universal.
kindness. Mhm.
It's universal. Right, right. Okay.
Thank
Love to
Thank
see
you so much.
you folks.
you.
you.
Thank you. You folks have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Enjoy trick-or-treating. It looks like everybody started where Gail is. She's
Yeah.
has some trick-or-treaters there visiting. Okay, you all stay safe. Love you all. Okay,
Thanks,
aloha.
Yvonne. Love you. Bye.